The last AAA title that I bought was probably Assassin's Creed Shadows. And the reason why I bought it, and I'll, full disclosure, and I'll actually, own up to my word, is that I wanted to keep up with the Joneses and, show release titles that just came out. And everybody's like, trying to be the first one to, release a video of hacks, of how-tos, of glitches, this, that, and the third. But, I put 17 hours into that game, and it was just very repetitive, very monotonous. Every camp you went to was the same enemies that you had to do the same things over and over again. Although it's probably one of the prettiest games I've played in a long time, but I believe that Black Myth Wukong with Unreal Engine 5, that one takes the cake with its foliage. And the graphics look absolutely beautiful. I didn't play that game. I didn't buy that game, but I will during a Steam sale. And the reason why I talk about this is because I have probably over 555 titles into my Steam library. I think I'm on there for like 17, 18, maybe even 19 years. I don't know how old my account is, but out of the 555 titles that I have, I only probably played 30% of them because I'm too busy playing Dota 2 since 2012, and I have approaching 5,600 hours, which is still considered noob time. You got to get those numbers up, bro. And that's all I'm interested in. I remember when I used to do the Spawn Trap podcast, that channel, that was a gaming channel. It started off as a dedicated Call of Duty podcast, right? And then that morphed into a first-person shooter podcast, and then that morphed into a dedicated Battlefield. And I remember when Battlefield 3 came out, and I used to game with NASA and Hard 8 and Wings of Redemption and you name it. I have so many videos still on several hard drives of when we used to game together. And I remember I had this one video that went super viral, even back in 2013, 14, when Battlefield 3's height was still in effect. And it got written up in a couple of articles, and that was like me and NASA playing. And we found this, I forget the name of the map. It was one of the TDM maps, but we were playing Conquest, and we found this like underground water tunnel in the sewer systems of that map. I forget what it was. And it got written up in several like outlets, and it got like 100,000 views. And this was back then. Could you imagine if I left it up? Could you imagine if I still kept my channel from way back then? This is my original personal channel. It was never meant to be a gaming channel. But why am I talking about this? Because everything is just going to absolute shit right now, man. I gotta be honest. Like, you see the phenomenon that is Hollow Knight Silksong. And I bought Hollow Knight, the first one, last year in June of 24 during a Steam summer sale, and I haven't played it. I purchased so many games I've never played, and it's just one of these things that, you just throw money away and forget about it, and it's just such a bad habit to have. But I started playing it like 3 weeks ago when, the Silksong hype started ramping up, and I'm like, holy shit, this really is a good game. And late this week, it came out that Valve has no plans on releasing the Steam Deck 2 until late 2028. And I'm like, well, you know what? Since I'm not going to wait that long, let me go ahead and get a Steam Deck. So that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be buying probably this year, And the reason why I want to get that is because that thing is a emulation powerhouse, and that's what I want to do when I'm winding down, chilling on the couch, or like an hour before bed, just lay down and play some games and knock out also not only emulations and ROMs, but some of these like indie titles that play very well on the Steam Deck. For example, I don't want to play some of these little $15-$20 indie titles on my PC. I'd rather play it on a handheld, and that's where that thing shines. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because like the AAA industry got fucking humbled big time this week, dude. $20 for an indie title that's been in development for 5-6 years, and you have this thing that was made by 3 developers go up against a juggernaut, a Goliath, with budgets of hundreds of millions of dollars, teams of hundreds of people, several studios spread across so many countries, and yet they release the slop that we have today. And I got to tell you, man, everything from our American culture to music, movies, TVs, art, comics, video games, especially because, we are talking about video games here. it's all going to shit, dude. Like the entire AAA, it's almost as if, you have these, I'll call it Dark Pebble, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Because they are being headed by people we're not supposed to criticize. Oh, hey, right? And then like everything from American culture, and I'm going to go political here, but our American Christian culture is just being subverted and turning into some dog shit thing that we don't even recognize, where everything is supposed to be ugly. And for example, the women in the new 007 game, which I was actually looking forward to, are just ugly as shit on purpose, man. Everything. And it looks like a complete DEI checkbox. Like every single one has been checked off. Okay, make sure she has a square jaw, make sure she looks masculine, don't show any chest, put them all in suits. It's just like enough already, and people are getting absolutely fucking fed up with this. And you know what? It's gotten to the point where like I don't even have high hopes, and I'm going to say this right now. I don't even have high hopes for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm just going to let it happen, and unfortunately, I might be forced to buy a PlayStation 5 just to play that game, because as of now, we don't have any news, any confirmation, any release date for a PC release. And it's coming to PC. But keep in mind, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013? So that's about 12 years ago. And the markets and the entire industry has shifted so much to where if you don't release everything all at once, you're going to be left out in the dust. And so I would be surprised if Take-Two Entertainment says, you know what, like we're not going to wait. We're not going to wait a year to release this thing on PC. Let's just release everything all at once, because that was 12, 13 years ago. So and there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made on PC, just like there's a lot of money to be made on the Steam Deck. And now everyone, and their mom is going after this coveted badge of, Steam Deck supported, which you see it in all the advertisements of each listing on Steam of the games. But yeah, a small little rant that I wanted to get off, because, we have to really, really start taking notice of what's going on here and start taking the power back into our hands. You hear it all the time. Oh, vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet, guys. But nobody fucking does it. Everybody just like continues on with the same slop, keep defending the same slop. And it's gotten to the point where I think, to be honest with you, like it's all over YouTube, all over social media, and especially these streamers are just fucking up the industry left and right. Everybody, all these like Call of Duty channels releasing, Call of Duty might be dead. Battlefield 6 is the next bee's knees. And just like, they're all doing it for views, they're all doing it for clicks. It's just nobody's authentic anymore. Nobody has like an honest opinion anymore, because everybody's bought and paid for. It's called access journalism, where you're invited to events, they fly you out. Oh, they didn't pay me. EA didn't pay me. Activision didn't pay me. Ubisoft didn't pay me. Meanwhile, they're fucking flying you out. They're setting you up in hotels. And that's still a function, a fashion and a way of paying you without actually having, currency exchange. You understand? So it's like, hey, you're our guest. We fly you out. We book your hotel. That's still getting paid, dude. You still have to fucking declare that shit with the IRS at the end of the year, right? And so that's the thing. It's just like nobody has an honest voice anymore. Nobody has an honest opinion anymore. Everybody's just trying to, influence you to buy said product. Just consume more and shut up, and you'll be happy. You'll own nothing. It's all ones and zeros, and Bob's your uncle.